Hi, Lakeview families. My name is Mrs. Imhoff, and I teach at Greenwood Elementary. I wanted to read a couple of my favorite poems for you from Shel Silverstein's Where the Sidewalk Ends. I thought if you had the book at home and wanted to follow along to a couple of my favorite ones from here, I'll share the page number with you, and you could follow along with me. The first one I'm going to read is on page 28. It's called Jimmy Jet and His TV Set. I'll tell you the story of Jimmy Jet, and you know what I tell you is true. He loved to watch his TV set almost as much as you. He watched all day, he watched all night till he grew pale and lean, from the early show to the late show and all the shows between. He watched till his eyes were frozen wide and his bottom grew into his chair, and his chin turned into a tuning dial and antenna grew out of his hair. And his brains turned into TV tubes and his face to a TV screen, and two knobs saying vert and horizon grew where his ears had been. And he grew a plug that looked like a tail, so we plugged in little Jim, and now instead of him watching TV, we all sit around and watch him. The next one I'm going to read is on page 32. This one, listen to what the animals say when the farmer talks about the queen. So it's on page 32, and it's called The Farmer and the Queen. She's coming, the farmer said to the owl. Oh, what shall I do? Shall I bow when she comes? Shall I twiddle my thumbs? The owl asked, who? The queen, the royal queen shall pass the farm today. Shall I salute? He asked the horse. The horse said, nay. Shall I give her a gift? He asked the wren. A lovely memento for her to keep? An egg or a peach or an ear of corn? The wren said, cheap. But should I curtsy or should I cheer? Oh, here's her carriage now. What should I do? He asked the dog. The dog said, bow. And so he did, and so she passed. Oh, tra-la-la-la-la. She smiled, she did, he told the sheep. The sheep said, bah. This next one is called Pancake. If you notice, the title ends with the question marks. That's why I said it like that. Who wants a pancake, sweet and piping hot? Good little Grace looks up and says, I'll take the one on the top. Who else wants a pancake fresh off the griddle? Terrible Teresa smiles and says, I'll take the one in the middle. And this next one is my absolute favorite. You'll have to follow along with me as I read to figure out what happened from the beginning to the end. It's called Smart. Oh, and this one doesn't have a picture, so I don't have anything to show you. My dad gave me $1 bill because I'm his smartest son. And I swapped it for 2 shiny quarters because 2 is more than 1. And then I took the quarters and traded them to Lou for 3 dimes. Guess he don't know that 3 is more than 2. And just then along came old Blind Bates. And just because he can't see, he gave me 4 nickels for my 3 dimes. And 4 is more than 3. And I took the nickels to Hiram Coombs down at the seed feed store. And the fool gave me 5 pennies for them. And 5 is more than 4. And then I went and showed my dad. And he got red in the cheeks and closed his eyes and shook his head. Too proud of me to speak. Hopefully you caught that one and were able to figure out what happened. That one's on page 35. Thank you for listening.